year's between North Carolina and Georgetown, a classic. The Superdome in New Orleans, the site of last year's Final Four. North Carolina and Georgetown played a great game before a packed house. But getting there was not easy. In the semifinals, Sam Perkins led the Tar Heels over Houston with a 25-point, 10-rebound performance. Dean Smith looked for his first championship in 6 trips to the Final Four. Meanwhile, Georgetown had its hands full against Louisville. But Patrick Ewing and company prevailed in the end. The Hoyas coming away with a hard-fought 4-point victory. And after the game, John Thompson was mentally and physically drained.
The game was like a war, and right at the very end, I felt that, you know, it was just a tremendous relieving feeling, you know, inside. And I guess I definitely was happy as soon as I became conscious again.
Thompson and the Hoyas were ready for Monday night's tip-off against the Tar Heels of North Carolina. A new war began against Dean Smith. Freshman Ewing took the game's first shot and coolly sank a baseline jumper. And the freshman very quickly established an awesome presence on defense. He collected 5 goaltending calls in the first 10 minutes of play.
Patrick Ewing tried to intimidate us and tried to force us outside as much as he could. But actually, he didn't intimidate anybody.
He did not intimidate James Worthy. Worthy led the Tar Heels back with Ewing on the bench.
Again, James Worthy. Almost impossible to block the shot. That's what I expected. Them to go to Worthy when Ewing sits.
And while Ewing sat, Sleepy Floyd's dead eye kept Georgetown out in front.
Floyd is 3 of 4 from the field in this game. Here he is. He's going to pop another one. Oh, he's on tonight.
The story of the first half. An explosive Worthy keeping the Tar Heels close to a hot Sleepy Floyd and Patrick Ewing. Down by 1, Dean Smith felt that Georgetown was playing very well.
I thought we would play well, but I was worried about Georgetown playing extremely well, and we did play a great second half. And, of course, as it turned out, many observers think it's one of the great games we've had.
The second half was as intense as the first. Georgetown maintaining a slim lead. Ewing dominating the middle.
Gordon almost walked to the ball. Rebound by Ewing, and Ewing's all over the place.
North Carolina may need a timeout right now. Their guys are getting very tired.
Georgetown with the lead. They can add to it. Ewing's going to do that. It'll count, and he's fouled by Sam Perkins.
And Georgetown opened a 4-point lead, their largest of the second half, but not for long.
The momentum's changing.
Brown mishandled the ball. He lost the handle.
Worthy led the Tar Heels, and they took the lead with that slam, but Georgetown would not be left behind. Eric Floyd put the Hoyas up by 1 with under a minute to play. Dean Smith called a timeout. He would diagram a play for a freshman.
He set up everything, and he told us exactly what to do. You know, the time before where I was open in the zone offense, and he told us to swing around a couple of times, and if I get the open shot, to shoot it.
Michael got his open shot. He squeezed the trigger, and then what happened will never be forgotten.
A 1-point lead for Georgetown.
No, they stay in the 1-3-1 with Ewing in the middle. They've got to look to get it in there. You can't with a shot blocker like Ewing take so much time.
Doherty to Black. The time, 18. Shot, Jordan. Michael Jordan.
14 seconds.
Brown.
Look for Sleepy Floyd.
Oh, he threw it to the wrong man. He threw it to Worthy.
It's over. It's over.
There were no words that were appropriate at that time that I knew that would make him feel better, and I was just trying to let him know that, hey, it's okay.
I remember Jimmy Black running over right afterwards. It was a special moment for me, and to shake James's hand and hug him.
I knew it in his heart that he was happy by the smile on his face.
Game for the ages, and the 2 men who did it for us, coaches Dean Smith of North Carolina and John Thompson of Georgetown. Dean, how often during the course of a season do you think back on that magical night in New Orleans?
Amazingly enough, I didn't really think back much at all. We're simply trying to get this year's team doing well, and it's a great moment, but time marches on. It seems like many years ago to you, John.
John, how do you feel?
Well, I thought about it, I think, a lot during the summer, but after the season starts, you get new butterflies, a lot of new experiences. You tend to forget about it. But during the summer, I played it back a million times.
As the game was unfolding, did you have any idea how good a game it was, or were you so wrapped up in it, John, at the time?
Well, I was thinking about that guy down the other end of the floor that I hated, so I said that, well, you thought about it, but, you know, it's a game and you play it.
Dean, you went to a freshman against John for the winning shot. Any hesitation over there in that last huddle of yours to go to one of the upperclassmen?
Well, that was our first option, and I know John's very smart, and I thought they would probably jam James Worthy inside, and Jimmy Black does go, we have a little cross-court play there, and we said to look for that, and then Michael knocked it in, and if you notice, Sam Perkins had the rebound, but gone long. If it'd been anywhere else, Patrick Ewing would have had the rebound.
Did you have the middle jam, John?
Well, we were looking for James, of course. You know, he was on my mind. He was killing me in every phase of the game, and he's just an outstanding player. So I thought that they were going to go inside to James, and, you know, it happened that way.
And if he missed, you would have been right. We should have gone inside.
John, how about the first game here? Did you think fatigue was a problem being at this altitude with Georgia and North Carolina State?
Well, I think it's relative, but I think one of the biggest problems was that Georgia took a little time in reaching their comfort level. Anytime you play in this area of competition and so much excitement, it's hard for the kids to get acclimated and get loose.
You would have liked to have caught Georgia playing this poorly like they did here this afternoon.
They sure shot it well last week, but they didn't shoot it well. And North Carolina State, Brad, played Louisville a 5-point game at Louisville earlier. So Monday, State might bring the national championship back to North Carolina.
How about this second game now? Houston and Louisville. John, that's an awesome front line that Guy Lewis has.
It's going to be a war, to say the least. I think it'll be a game of transition, particularly because of the fact that Louisville extends its defense and presses. And if they aren't able to, you know, really get possession of the basketball, they're playing into Houston's hands because they transition. If they are, it's going to be a good game, I think.
Houston's coming off their best game, probably, and Louisville's coming off their most emotional game. So I have no idea how they will react to those elements.
Speculation about a freshman guard for Houston and, of course, Denny Crum's tough press. Would that be a factor in this game?
Well, you have to realize one thing, and the most difficult thing, I think, about the championship game is getting to the Final Four. And those freshman guards have gotten here, and I don't think classification means anything at this point.
Dean, do you think that'd be a problem?
Well, I think Louisville hopes to press, and pretty soon they might throw it away twice in a row. My guess is Houston will get some easy shots, but they'll throw the ball away a lot, too.
Hey, John, I don't know about you, but I've heard some of these rumors that the coach here, Dean Smith, might leave North Carolina, go to Kansas. You wouldn't do that.
I got the best job in the country, Brent.
All right. We're going to continue here with one of the best big men in the history of college basketball, Ralph Sampson, in just a moment.
Didn't get any better.
This game unfolded, Georgia shooting so poorly, especially in the first half.
Well, they shot poor in the first half, and Banks didn't have a great game like he did against North Carolina. And State, I thought, played an excellent game, but they slowed the ball down at one time. I thought they were going to give the game back to Georgia.
You are really the people's choice of the Houston fans. They were chanting Cougars, Cougars. You stepped out here and said, hey, there goes the guy that's going to the Rockets. What about your pro career, Ralph? How do you look at it now?
Well, as you know, I don't have any control over that right now. And when I have control over it, when I'll decide what I have to do. And, you know, Houston, if they have the pick, you know, they have the pick. You know, the Houston fans here say they want me, so maybe they can persuade Houston to do that, but I don't know.
How about the Cougars now against Louisville? How do you analyze that game?
I think it's going to be a great game. You got two great teams that can jump out of the gym, and I'm just waiting for it to see it.
Ralph, I want to take you back to some painful last seconds and show that final shot against North Carolina State. You were unable to touch the ball because of the defense. What were your thoughts?
Well, we tried to get a play to Tim Mullen, and we knew everybody was going to come to me. Odell, he was trying to get the ball back, and I tried to tip it in. But, you know, we knew everybody was going to come back to me and get in. So we tried to send two guys up the middle of the lane so they could take a good jump shot, but it didn't fall for us.
So much pressure on you for 4 years at Virginia, and yet you made the decision twice to turn down the millions of dollars and stay as an undergraduate and go for that degree. Any regrets on the part of Ralph Sampson?
No, Brent, I have no regrets at all. I think we had a great 4 years in Virginia. We won more games than any college basketball team in 4 years in history. And I look look at that, I feel very relieved that we did that, and we have a good program at Virginia now, so we can continue to play good basketball.
I have to tell you how many friends you made by making that decision. How many folks were pulling for you in this tournament? Listen, the man who came out of nowhere, Hakeem Abdul-Olajuwon, you were over in Japan, but you did not play against him, and what do you think of it?
No, I didn't play, but our guys, Ken Nealon, Craig Bowson, played him very well over there. I don't think they were at their season, at their peak, but we did a good job against him, but he's improved over the years, and he's just strong inside, and he plays well.
Now, how about Jones of Louisville? Will he be able to do anything against him, Ralph?
Well, I think he will. The guy you have to look for in Louisville is Bonnie McRae, because he's a great player, and he has a lot of heart, and he plays well in situations like this. And he's been here 3 years in a row. So I think that's the guy to look for.
All right, and they'll be bringing those guards in the backcourt, too, and trying to zone trap that Houston bunch.
Well, they will. They have an excellent zone trap and good guards out front. They will pressure Houston a little bit.
All right, Ralph, congratulations on a great college career. Good luck on whichever team in the NBA you wind up with.
I appreciate it.